We had just a little hiccup yesterday. I'll talk about that in a second, but here's the 4630 and the right way, what is it, RR 250 rock picker. I've been running this thing since I was 14 probably. It was on my uncle's farm originally. Pretty simple concept. That goes up and down. This is the reel, obviously. It bats them in. You have grates across the bottom, so the dirt will fall out. And this whole thing will tilt and dump. So just a lifesaver, real fast at picking fields by yourself. It's always kind of cool watching these tractors come right at you, especially the planters for some reason. So the original plan was to plant this field yesterday, and lunchtime when we came in for a refill, the alternator belt on that tractor blew. Thinking we could just throw a new belt on quick. No. We had an idler go out, the bearing locked up, and the belt burned itself through that. We had to take apart quite a bit of the area around that to pull the shaft and bearing out the other way, or release parts that were bolted onto the back. And they don't really give you any room to press the new one in, and to take that whole metal frame out. There's quite a bit of things connected to it. Right or wrong, it took us, from the time we started working on it, probably 6 hours. You know, stepped away from it just a couple times to do some different things, but yeah, it was a battle. It was supposed to rain last night. The rain split and went around us. Somebody's looking out for us. So we're gonna get this planted in now. These rock pickers are quite something. Oh, there's one. But it really helps the guy stay ahead of the planter by himself, because I generally I work the ground in the morning, and then I come back with the rock picker when he's in the field as the ground's drying out. Or I work the ground the day before is what we've been doing this year. And it just seems to work best, and we get a little more evening help, and we get, we can do more then, because the guys will, one of them will run the digger, or one of them will run the rock picker. Do one-handed. See if I can get you guys a little better video here of this thing operating. I'm pretty slick with it when I'm not videoing, but one-handed it's a little tricky. Nice view. So all you do is you pull up to it, put your little basket down, pull your reel, and off you go. You don't pick up too much dirt, and the little bit you do falls through. If you're really going and you got both hands, sometimes you don't even have to stop, but well, got this field done. But the guys next to us are spreading dry fertilizer, and honestly, I've never run a Terragator or anything. He's doing all of 20. I almost want to say he's doing 30 mile an hour across this field. He is moving, making short work of that. I think it's 110 acres, 105 acres up here next to us. There, check the Yetter side dress rigs. Sometimes they flick up some dirt and then it turns to mud and plugs those nozzles, but ever since we made a change, made those nozzles just a little bit bigger, boy, that system's working pretty darn well. We thought about putting those little float balls so you can tell if product's going to each row, but with it split, we thought it might be a little tricky. And then also too, he planted this area. He got to the headlands before I got to him. Pulled in at the same time. Those things, the plumbing to get that back up to the front hitch so he could see it would be quite a bit, and there's already a lot of hoses and wires on there. So I think this is pretty solid what we got going right now. Seriously, look at this guy. He could give these guys on the interstate a run for their money. Wow, what a machine. There he goes. When we're ready, we pull our two-way valve and it falls in line with the tractor. You know, you can get a big one out of the ground with this thing and also back drag with it and make it not look too bad. That is why we have rock pickers. Doesn't even go in. Yep. That's a rock. That's a boulder, really. Takes up the whole scoop of the rock picker. Wow. What I do now is I just drive this up to the fence line, put this down, and the rock will either roll out or I'll just kind of shake it a little bit and it'll slide out the front. We can't, obviously it's not going to go in the basket. You know, the rock picker is a lot like the grain cart. It always seems like the grain cart's never quite where the combine guy wants it, no matter how hard you try. And it always seems like no matter how hard you work to pick all the rocks, that there's always that perfect rock that gets in the closing wheel or something on the planter and makes you look silly. And it's like, you know darn well you picked a bunch of baskets of rocks off that field, but of course that one perfect rock has to make you look stupid. Oh well, that's the way it goes. Get the best, we do it the best we can. It's kind of a fine line between spending all day in a field and getting for sure the ones that will affect the planter. And then, you know, you just can't spend all day. Or you gotta keep moving when the weather's perfect and planting conditions are just ideal right now. Alright, I created enough of a buffer with the rock picker. Now since it's just me and him, a little bit of rock there. Now since it's just me and him, I'm gonna work a little more around here because I have to work tonight. So I'm gonna work this down here. I think there's about 50 acres. Very dusty, but still plenty of moisture in the ground underneath of it. Just absolutely ideal planting conditions right now. So then there'll be a couple guys that come out this evening. One will come out around 6 o'clock. One will come out probably around like 7 or 8. Sometimes he gets off late from work. So, and then they can keep going or do whatever they want to do for the weekend because I'm starting my crazy schedule back with all this Corona, COVID, whatever you want to call it, stuff going on. This field, it was a little rough. I made a pass around it with the machine here when I first came in, and it gave me an area to turn around on. That way the mulch finisher isn't bouncing as you're turning around. You know, it's got a smooth area to turn around. But maybe I'm just overly particular. But these tractors are heavy, and I like to come back and smoothing off my turnaround marks. So kind of clean that up a little bit, and then just a little sliver of the field left over there. We'll have this one done. Well, there we are. Back to our entrance here. Nice and smooth. Wow, look at that. That's pretty. Well, that's it for me. I need to get going to go get ready for work. So he's got a good 70 acres ahead of him that are worked. A couple rocks out there, so they'll have to figure out how they want to take care of those, but I need to get going. So it's the end of the video. So with that, you guys take it easy. Be safe as always. Check you later.